ridiculous.
That's incredible.
Like, what kind of games does it play?
It plays let's see, like, what's on their menu? Like, what kind of games can we make out of it?
Oh my god.
Do you remember when Czech Cereal back in the 90s made that Doom style game with just Czech stuff?
Oh my god, yeah, I think
It's like that.
I think
but
I
with
do.
chicken.
It's Christ checks. Start your day off the holy way with Christ checks. That's a really old Dane Cook bit from like in the early aughts. You sit there and be like, you open up the box and a little angel pops out whenever you open the box, like, good morning! It's a fantastic day!
Oh my god, I seen something on Facebook about some child asked their dad why the KFC man's body was so small, but they were talking about their bow tie. But it does look like it's stick figure.
Oh my God.
And now that I've seen that, I cannot unsee it. So it looks like a stick figure with a big freaking head.
Oh my god. Colonel Sanders.
Even looks like it's skating.
That's so funny. I should buy the KFC console just so I can heat up chicken with it.
But once again, you're ordering the chicken from somewhere else, and
Yeah.
it's going to arrive.
Yeah.
And instead of eating it, you're going to put it into your gaming console.
Yeah.
Like,
You
what?
don't know. It's because it's America. Val's like, that's right.
It's gonna be like those Disney Infinity game consoles where each type of chicken you put on is a different character.
Oh, no, they could do like a Skylanders thing where like you buy a different kind of chicken from KFC and then you put it on a receptacle and you get a different game. Like it just reads, oh, how many herbs and spices do they use? That's how many games they could make with that.
Calypso,
What?
look at the stick figure KFC man.
Oh, that does look like, oh my god. Oh, I will not, I can't unsee that now.
Right.
I can't unsee it now.
You're welcome.
That's so good. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
see, there you go. Just Jet put it up.
Built-in chicken warmer. Oh my god. That's hilarious. Alright. This won't take too long. I'm going to go ahead and kick this off. Just for the record, I am recording on XSplit, so if anybody's got to bow out earlier, for anybody that's not here, that is watching in the future, you're welcome. This is just going to touch upon... Freaking KFC, man. I have to close the ESO chat. This is going to touch on the newly created Fashion Craft department, which is a combination of housing and fashion and crafting. We've already talked about why we did this beforehand. It just seems better to create one department that possesses the ideals of both, and in turn facilitates those needs and those interests in a much stronger capacity. So the first thing, we'll just take a quick tour of, if you haven't already, of what it looks like on the forums. It's very, very simple. This first bit right here is just, I've renamed it Miscellaneous Guides, Resources, and Tips. Everything that was there before in the guides forum is here now. I moved it here. Some things I want to highlight that perhaps haven't had as much attention paid to them before are these pinned guides here at the very top that are crafted by, posted by previous crafting teams and by Daisy and Sith and Badash. All previous or current members. One of which being the fishing guide, fishing for fashion, things of that nature. These are all really, really good. And I just want to draw attention to these real quick during this meeting to give them a once-over. Some elements may be outdated, but for the most part, it's like 90% there, 95% there. Really, really good there. And then we have Haute Glue, which is the crafting requests form, just by another name. I've kept it. Its functionality is entirely the same. Grin suggested that name, and I thought it was too damn good to pass up. Just pinned threads here about how to request crafting gear. Sabretooth has been fulfilling these quests during this transition period, and will continue to do so until we have an officer form. I've already thanked him for that, but again, I want to thank you now. So show him some love in any way, shape, or form you can. He's been doing that a lot the last month or so. But the one thing I really wanted to highlight here as well is the crafting roster. which Nix created last year. And this is a repository of all members and what their specialities are. Woodworkers, blacksmiths, clothiers, alchemists, provisioners, blah, 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 blah. Some members are old, some members are not with us anymore, and many, many are still current. So for the prospective fashion craft officer or their assistants, to the question of, do I need to be a master crafter? No. You've all kinds of resources and help here that you can outsource to if and whenever you need to, starting with this list. So that's there that I want to draw attention to. Very, 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 very handy. The next forum there is just the archives, just where we dump old stuff. Enough said about that. You can visit it, but just be aware, like I said, some things there may be out of date, so just keep that in mind. And then finally, we have Tamriel Realty. This is everything to do with furnishing. Now, there's going to be a thread here that I haven't made yet, but it's going to be a lot like the crafting requests forum. It's going to be furnishing requests. So if you need a furnishing request or something of that nature for your house, or you can input it in the same fashion that you would the crafting requests. And then an assistant or member of the Fashion Craft team can try to facilitate that request, doing so in the same way that the crafting assistant or officer may outsource if they absolutely need to. So, for example, Elsil here has this giant thing of all the furniture recipes that she knows, which she continuously updates. So let me just click on this real quick and give you guys an idea of what we're working with here. Hello! Hi. What's that go down to? That goes down. She's just shy of 1,800. So let's get her there, huh? Yeah.
I have more. I just have to update it. Sorry.
Everybody's eating. I love it. Yeah, is that KFC?
Oh my gosh.
We're on a bit of a KFC kick.
We need to get the dev team to get together and make that searchable.
I think with
You can.
keyboard shortcuts, F something. What is it? Shift.
Control it.
Control F. I always forget that shortcut. Here, I'll demonstrate real quick. So if you need to search in here, assuming you know the name of what you need, Control F, and this goes for any web page that you happen to be on, like at all. You can just type in a keyword. So I don't know, for the sake of demonstration, Alienor. All the Alienor stuff. There you go. That's all you got to do. Control F. Thank you. I can never remember what that command is personally. And those are the subforums there, Tamriel Realty, so on and so forth. And then down below here, what's up?
I have a question. For the one back at the back where it shows a list of master clothers and woodworkers, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You said it's a list of former and current members. Is there a way to downgrade that to only?
Yeah, it just requires editing, that's all.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot here, so I haven't done it personally yet. But yeah, all it takes is just a quick edit. But yeah, there's still plenty here of us that are actually still playing. Many names actually are still at least active somewhat. But yeah, that's all that would need. It's just an edit. It's not connected to anything official in terms of the back end. But yeah, it just needs an edit by somebody. So somebody can take the time to do that.
Furnishing expert.
Are you not a furnishing expert?
Oh,
I don't think she can craft.
I can try.
I think she was saying she doesn't have as much
Mm.
in terms of the furnishing and crafting.
Well, again, that's
As, for
something.
instance, Ellie does.
Yeah, that's something that can be revisited a little bit later. And then on the homepage here for Fashion Craft, it's just all the regular pin things that were here originally. A handful of things I just want to bring attention to if you haven't seen them already. I've been performing an analysis of things that are currently in our guild bank that I think would be better suited to be sold on the store, and I'll be doing that over the course of the next week or so. Cheap things, green, blue, some purple motifs or whatever. And this thread here, I will just be continuously updating as I move things to the store. So just keep your eye on that. I will I will tag the general list every time I do it, so you won't miss it. But that's what's been going on today. For example, at least for the sake of the impromptu trial that Hatter put up, I put a whole bunch of potions and food up.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, 30 slot limit, man.
I bought them all, so he would SOL.
That's why I couldn't find.
Oh, is that what happened?
I bought most of them, but I used almost all of the ones I bought too.
Crazy. And I'll touch on food and crafting once I get into the nitty gritty here in a moment. So I wanted to draw attention just to that. So keep your eye on that thread. I'll be tagging it and things of that nature. And now trading guild declarations. Now we're all well aware of the multi-guilding policy. You can join however many trading guilds you want to, and you have one exception guild. Now those have to be declared here. I've linked to this thread in this thread. I've linked it here. To this large thing where you need to declare whatever trading guild or outside guild that you are a member to. That has to be done. All right, I want to specify the difference between these two things. You have to do it here whenever you do that. This thread, however, is optional. You do not need to declare yourself here, your trading guild specifically. You don't need to do that. This is only to, it's meant to serve as a resource to benefit this division specifically in terms of members who are trying to sell things or join a trading guild. They can come here and there's a repository of members that are in trading guilds and they can get in contact with one of them. That's all this is for. This is completely optional. You do not need to declare yourself, but if you want to help, you can, and this list will be updated. And like I said, I've linked to the actual one here that you need to declare to. That one has to be updated by you. That's the difference there. Any questions about that so far? All right.
Is that new?
This thread, technically it's old, but I'm drawing new attention to it because it kind of fell out of fashion, no pun intended.
Yeah, I didn't see anybody in there. That's why I asked.
And then other things that I want to draw attention to that have always been there. Nick's created this lovely, lovely thread here. It's just a quick guide on donating things to the guild bank. Like I said, I've been performing an analysis and just moving things out of it that are kind of like cheap and just shy of garbage to our guild store. And this thread here provides members with a guide on how to donate. What are we interested in? What are we not interested in? What's better for the store? What's better for the bank? So if you're ever curious, it's here. So pay attention to that.
Okay.
And introduction to banking and trading, if you're already well familiar, there's that. And then this is Doohickeys announcement about the guild crafting house. One thing that I'm going to explore and revisit a little bit later, but I thought it was a neat idea, was this motif trade exchange that Nick's put forward last year. Basically, if you have motifs, other people have motifs, you get together in this forum and you trade them. That's it. That's all there is to it. You can still use it right now if you absolutely want to. I'm going to try to think of a way to maybe streamline the process, make it a little bit more organized, but in its current form, you can absolutely still use it. And I encourage that. So all that stuff is here. Like I said, when I did my analysis of like all the crafting and housing threads, I found a gold mine of stuff that just sort of fell out of the limelight that I really want to draw more attention to. So all this fun stuff. Now, the actual department and how it's going to be run. What's up? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought somebody sneezed.
Yes.
So this is the application that I am about to pull the trigger on. I haven't done it yet, but this is for the prospective fashion craft officer. Now, I discussed with upper leadership on how to do this, on how to go about doing this, because it's not, it's not like an original thing where I'm looking for a new department officer, right? I combined two departments, so it's a little bit different. And we decided that it would be best to just handle it as if I was looking for a new department officer for any other department. With that said, Cersei can apply to this. Anybody else can apply for this as well. Think of it like that. It's a department. I need an officer for it. So here's how it's going to be run. Little list here of just responsibilities and obligations here. Basic stuff, talking with assistants about ideas and concerns. You want to sub for an event, then assistants otherwise unable to organize themselves. All that basic stuff we're all pretty well familiar with. Some of the nitty gritty here is, it's a good idea to stay up to date on the market trends, particularly around our holiday events where we see influxes in prices or down fluxes in prices, depending on how things go. And you just want to be able to pay attention to that, primarily in the service of our guild members and, just providing fair and balanced prices on the store whenever you're putting things up like that. And that goes for all members as well. Other responsibilities, ensuring the guild store is kept well stocked, and I'll get into how you can do that in a moment here. And that particular thing is not specific to the officer. That's going to be a team effort, keeping that store stocked. Every person has a 30 slot limit on our guild store, which means it can fill up very, very fast. As you can see, I could only put so much food and potions in it myself, and then had her ate everything. So that can happen.
I took the pattern scene.
So it's going to be a team effort to just make sure it's kept well stocked without overburdening any one person with the job. And again, I'll get into how you can divvy that up. I do recommend that whoever does become the officer, that they just keep a spreadsheet. Doesn't have to be uber complicated or anything like that, but just keep a spreadsheet detailing your monthly income and expenditure. And then that way you can make accurate decisions regarding guild funds. Are we doing this thing? Has it been profitable for us? Are we doing this thing? Is it not? Simple decisions like that. I found that Darnavian had been keeping a little spreadsheet on the side, just something simple like to-do lists, food and potions, details around those, teams and duties, events, and then what's in our prize bank, which is a little side bank that I've been slowly emptying out into the ROH proper guild. But more on that for another day. You don't need to be as complex as this, or you can. It's really up to you. My just biggest recommendation is that you do track the funds, just incoming and outgoing. All this other stuff here is really up to the officer, especially this kind of thing where, the patch can change it at a moment's notice. So it's really, really up to you how in-depth that you want to get with your information gathering. Moving on down below there, I would expect the officer to just, keep their little corner of the forums clean and tidy. So moving old posts out of the crafting request form if they've been filled, updating the crafting roster and trading guild declaration lists updated. Assistants can help with that too. But those are kind of like the primary upkeep things, housekeeping, no pun intended. And again, I answer here, do you need to be a master crafter? No, you do not need to be a master crafter. You simply just need to know what you're talking about. That's all. There's plenty of people in guild that you can outsource to. We do it all the time naturally. So have no fear. If you're not like a god at the workbench, you're good. It's fine. So here's where I had a little bit of fun. Possible assistant delegations. The prospective officer does not need to follow this to the letter, but I do personally believe this will keep things organized and flowing. If you give all of your assistants a specific job and thing to take care of. So in this case, we have the brewer, and this person just makes sure that the potions are kept stocked in the guild bank. They got 30 slots. All those slots can be dedicated to potions. That keeps things really, really simple for that particular assistant, especially because the primary ones that we're interested in are just essences of health, spell power, and weapon power. Those are the three key ones for tanks, DPS, healers, or stamina DPS. And then I put a little footnote here. Other unique potions, just make those upon request. Essences of immovability or things of that nature. They're a little bit more niche. I think if I were to add a fourth one here, it would be essences of immovability for the sake of PvP.
I need them.
But outside of that, anything specific, just request it, and the department can make it for you. And that way, we're not unnecessarily spending gold on things that don't get bought. Similarly, we have the chef, and like we have the brewer for potions, the chef takes care of the food. The three that we're primarily concerned with are Longfin Pasty for tanks, that's purple food. Witch Mother's Potent Brew for Magicka DPS and healers, and then Dubious Cameron Throne. And then likewise, I have a footnote here that gold recovery foods or anything other unique, make those on request because they are expensive. I just wanted to ensure that the department is making sure that the core needs of players are being met with these three foods, and I think it does that. Then you can have a tailor, a person who just makes sure crafting requests gets filled, or contacts people to outsource those requests and make sure it gets them filled. It doesn't have to be one person that does this. The entire team can get together to help out with these things. But I feel like delegating jobs does help keep things organized. And then similarly to the realtor, person who fulfills furnishing requests, who will most likely be outsourcing to Ellie every time. Little things like that. And then after that, events list. I've listed current ones that we have, like Fashion and Conquest, and then Social Hour. And then there's ones that I want to do, that I want to see us doing a lot more of. So, for example, weekly or bi-weekly auctions. Whether or not we do one or the other would depend on just our stock and how often we're getting things. But I feel like if we do more of those, we are encouraging people to actually put things in our guild bank that are desirable. We are encouraging engagement. And by hosting auctions weekly or bi-weekly, we're also encouraging engagement on the part of the Fashion Craft staff, keeping them involved. Because if you let it, I said this last night, but if you let it, fashion and crafting can become a very passive and very laissez-faire thing, particularly because of how self-sufficient any one player can be in this game. So you want to create engagement, create things that'll get players involved. We've had auctions before. I think the last one was in May of 2019, and the one before that was hosted by Darnavian. And they were super fun. Those that were there will remember they were super fun. We were just hanging out, we were chilling, we were bidding in chat, we were just making fun of each other. It was good stuff, and we made a lot of money. The guild made a lot of money. And then that, because we don't have a trader, a guild trader in the strongest sense of the term, it's just a very nice insular circle of just money coming in and then money going out for prizes and things of that nature. And prizes for what, you might ask? Well, House of the Month, which I want to bring back. Really encourage people to just get decorating at all times, not specifically for holidays or not specifically for random events, but every month. Put your all into your house if you're doing something different, whatever. And then one such event could just be the reveal and the tour of the House of the Month that gets chosen by the department or that department officer. That's something else I want to bring back and I want to see. We haven't done that since 2019, I think, or 2018, something of that nature.
It's been a while. I've missed it.
And then,
I have a question.
What's up?
How many assistants are you asking for each thing?
Every department can have 4.
Okay.
So I have provided jobs for the 4 assistants, and then there are 4 events. So very easy events too. Social hour, as we know, is like fish, have fun, chalk, hang out. Fashion and Conquest, very much like DDD, but it's a little bit more focused because you're looking for dyes or you're looking for costumes. And then housing tours, also very, very easy. And then auctions. A little bit more work goes into those, but it's super, super fun. I love it when we do auctions.
I don't get them.
Under what, huh?
The auctions, I don't get them.
You don't understand?
No. I've never done one.
Oh, it's very simple. There is a collection of items, which is the lot, that are up for sale. And then the community, those who show up for the auction, bid on them. And the price can keep going up and up and up and up to see who wins the item.
Got it.
It's cool. You'll have to show up to the next one. We'll have to show up to...
on in-game gold.
Yes. Yeah,
And
you'll have to
then
show
the
up.
bank of the guild can go up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing that I wanted to touch on, is that I want to create more avenues for us to spend. I don't think I've ever seen money in the guild bank really, really go down in a meaningful capacity. I'm not in game currently, but I think we have something like 6.5 million gold, which in ESO is like, we are Jeff
Log in his
Bezos.
treasure hoard.
Like we are Jeff Bezos right now, or actually Elon Musk apparently. So I want to try to spend more for the benefit of members in terms of prizes or buying items for auctions that are that people might be interested in, and then the money we get from those auctions to buy more things for prizes or for auctions, and just keep that circle going. I want to spend our money. So I think that could be a good thing. That about covers it. I love this GIF. Are there any questions, comments?
Comment.
What up?
One of the expenses that people don't seem to realize that we use the gold for, or well, the officer would provide it, but the gold was used to buy materials so we could craft stuff at a higher level.
Yeah, for sure. That's another thing that I want to make sure that the circle keeps facilitating. That's also part of the reason why I've limited, or I've suggested rather, it'll be at the purview of the officership there. But that's why I've suggested just keeping the core, in terms of supplies at least, to just these 3 or 4 rather, movability, and just these 3 things of food. They're very, very cheap to make. They will do the job that anybody needs them to do, and it doesn't require us to like go all out buying perfect roe or clam gall. What's up?
About that, a question. If we did put in a request for this, do you want us to provide the mats for said food or clothing or potions?
Well, we have so much gold, I don't think it'd be necessary. I don't foresee us spending. Like I said, I want to spend gold, but at the same time, I also don't ever see us spending so much gold that if somebody just needs a stack of 4 Clockwork Citrus or fillet or something, that we can't just buy a perfect row with guild funds. So I don't think
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think
what they
anybody.
were doing before,
Yeah.
so
Exactly.
Hickey and I were using our own materials.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I want the guild. I want the guild bank gold to go towards any materials that you need. I want it all to be done out of that. I don't want people to use their own materials that are part of this department.
Unless you want to donate.
Yes.
Yeah, so we can donate the materials. Say we have perfect grow or something, we can throw it in the guild bank, or do you want it?
Yeah. No, you can do it roundabout like that.
Okay.
Just in terms of like player to player trading or anything like that, you don't need to do that.
All right.
Any other questions? All right, cool. I timed that pretty well.
Afterwards, I need to talk to you for a minute, Calypso, when we're done.
Sure. I'm going to hit the button on this thing and open it up. This application, I'm going to have it last until the 16th. So a little over a week here. Let me just tag ES. Okay, I can't. Let me copy paste it from my other one because I think that's what I did originally too.
Really appreciate your transparency on all of this, Calypso. Thank you. This
Yeah,
is
no problem.
exciting.
It's a real good. Yeah. Yeah. This made a lot of sense.
Boom! Application is now live.
Wow.
Well,
Good
hold on.
luck to everybody.
Waiting.
What?
Waiting
I
for
said-
it.
Good luck to everybody who applies.
Oh.
Val, be the officer.
Are you insane?
Are you insane?
I'll comb all my hair out if I ever became officer. Um,
I might be an assistant, but